moderator today, I get the right to say this. Damn, he's hot, isn't he? Thank you, Hollywood, for that shower scene. Oh, I'm gonna praise them forever. Let's bring him out now. The man who plays the guy that we all love to hate. Please welcome John Bernthal. Okay, we all know Alan Baldwin likes to hug. Are you a biter?
Say what?
Are you a biter?
A biter? Are you a biter?
No? Walker, biter, whatever. Okay, so John, before we get started, we've got questions on the side here. I gotta know, how did you break your nose 14 times? 14?
Yeah, just boxing and stuff. I guess I'm not that good. What's up, everybody? Lori Holden's too lazy to be here today. Yeah. That's messed up. I love Lori, I'm just playing. But where's Lori?
What?
Where is she?
I don't know, she didn't come.
Yeah.
She got out of bed.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know, they shouldn't have killed you off first.
You could be Lori.
Can I be Lori?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
Love interest, love triangle, I kind of like that. All right, we've got questions here on this side, this side. We're gonna go ahead and start with this first question.
Hi, John. Hey, after doing everything from, gangster noir in the 30s to World War II and then post-apocalyptic with The Walking Dead, two things about you. Number one, you can take a punch to the head, and you're good at it. Number two, obviously action scenes are really strong for you. So what is the stunt that you're proudest of in your career?
What am I proudest of?
Yeah, what stunt did you manage to pull off that you're proudest of?
Stunt. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like to do stuff myself. Stunt performers are great. I like to do as much as I can myself because then, the camera can be sort of right with me, and it gives the. It sounds so douchey, but it gives the audience an opportunity to sort of be with the character as they're going through, a dangerous situation or they're going through a furious situation, and you can bring some emotion to it. And so I like to do stuff myself. For Grudge Match, I did. I'm a boxer, and I did all of the flashback fights. They asked me. I put on a bunch of weight for Wolf of Wall Street, and then when I did Grudge Match, they asked me to play young Robert. I play his son, but then they wanted me to play the young Robert De Niro and do all of the flashback fighting. So I went from like 200 pounds down to 155 pounds in about 2 months, and I copied his boxing style. But then are there kids here? I don't want to curse. I'm sorry, sweetheart. All right, them MFers put freaking De Niro's face on my skinny ass body, so all that damn hard work was for no use. But so I was proud of that until I saw it. I don't know if that answers your question. Rugged.
CGI sucks sometimes. All right, over here, we have another question.
Hi, John. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the behind-the-scenes stuff on Wolf of Wall Street. Were there any pranks?
Yeah, dude, thank you, bro.
Or
how about him, huh?
Or what was it?
Dude, behind the scenes, Wolf of Wall Street, yeah, man, it's whatever your wildest imagination, it was, I just got finished doing a movie, almost 8 months in England, doing this World War II movie about a tank crew. Me and Shia LaBeouf and Brad Pitt and Michael Pena and Logan Lerman, the 5 of us in a tank. And we pissed on the tank. We lived on the tank, and it was about it was a great experience, but it was the polar opposite to what Wolf of Wall Street was. Wolf of Wall Street was just it was a blast, and seriously, Mr. Scorsese is a genius because he. A lot of directing is really about creating an atmosphere and bringing it, bringing it to life. And you got to do it off camera if it's going to work on. So he was really great at sort of orchestrating a group of people and having a very sort of fun and rambunctious time, if you know what I mean. So yeah, there were pranks, but there was just a whole lot of nasty stuff going on.
Thank you.
All right, over here to the right.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart.
Well, first I want to say that we all love to hate you on The Walking Dead, but it was really disappointing when you did die. My question was, how did you feel about how they killed you off the show?
How did I feel about it?
Yeah, because it was pretty rough.
It was rough.
For us, for me, it was rough. I don't know if it was rough for you.
I mean, they wanted my ass dead, dude. They killed me twice. Like, dude, get off and stay off, pack your shit and go. Yeah. No, I mean, look, everyone, so many people come up to me, they're like, hey man, love you on the show, too bad you died. Like, too bad, like, sucks that you're not, I don't think it sucks. I think it was, I had a really, I love Walking Dead. I really care. It sounds goofy, but I really care about Shane. I think it's important to care about your characters. He's in my heart, and I believe him, and I believe in him. And I think that I never wanted him to be a villain or a bad guy. I wanted him always to be doing things for reasons that he felt were just and right, and he was trying his best to keep the people that he loved alive. For me, it was an amazing opportunity because, on that show, these guys, I love, Normie and Andy and Steven and all the people that are still on the show. I'm very close with them, but there's this thing where you never know. You crack open a script, and then all of a sudden, like, holy S, that's it, dude, I'm done. But with Shane signing on to it, I knew that by the end of the second season, I was gone. And so I had this guy who started out, having lunch with his best friend, eating a couple hamburgers and sharing a pile of ketchup for their French fries, and they were talking about problems with his wife. And I knew within 20 episodes, I had to sleep with his wife, go crazy, try to kill him, lose my mind. It was this amazing arc, and knowing that I was gonna die let me sort of plot out where he was gonna be each step of the way. So look, I didn't necessarily, Andy and I had our own kind of version of how Shane would die, which didn't make it in. But besides that, I was glad that Shane did die. I thought it was right. I thought that he was becoming a cancer, and I thought that he needed to go. This show is about Rick, and for Rick, I think Shane needed to go.
So, just a follow-up to that, did you suggest an alternate ending and an alternate death?
Yeah, there was an alternate death that came close. I mean, it was basically what the idea was that it's cool. I'm not on the show anymore. I can say whatever I don't know why I don't. I'm sorry about cursing. I've actually done a good job. I don't feel like I've cursed yet, right? That's pretty good. Anyhow, yeah. So basically, the alternate death was basically that same thing. Shane was gonna go out, kill the little prisoner, whatever, and then get Rick to come out into the woods with him everything the same. And then when they're out in the woods, Shane was gonna dig into Rick, say, I'm a better man than you, I'm a better father than you, all this stuff, and try to push Rick. And my idea was that, and Andy's idea was that Rick was gonna take out his gun and throw it and say, hey, look, man, you're not gonna get me to do this. I'm not an animal, I'm not gonna kill you, I love you, you're my best friend. That was gonna enrage Shane, and Shane was gonna run to Rick and push even further, say, I tasted your wife, I did that, just said nasty, crazy crap to get the push. Same thing was gonna happen. Rick was gonna end up stabbing Shane. Then when Shane reanimates, Rick was gonna grab Shane's gun because he threw his gun away. When Shane is coming after him as a zombie, Rick was gonna point Shane's gun at zombie Shane, but then he would go click, 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 and see that the gun was empty. Then Carl was gonna come up and blast Shane. So our idea was that Shane would have taken Rick out in the woods to make Rick kill Shane, to be man enough to raise his unborn baby. And it was the most selfish, it would be the most selfish and selfless sort of suicide possible, and a way of really infecting. It's a really kind of dark way of going about it, but the way Andy and I played it was kind of that way anyway. I think that you don't take Rick Grimes out into the woods, you know someone's gonna die. I think Shane knew he was gonna die that night. So, does that make any sense? I don't even know what that means.
I know, just a little more motivation to get you to the end result. Okay, we've got another question over here.
Hi, John.
Hi, sweetheart.
First of all, did you say give her a hug? I just love you, if that's what you said.
Come on, after your question, get up here and give me a hug.
Okay. Anyways, should they ever find a cure, you better be the first zombie they find. Anyways, so, There's a certain scene in a green Hyundai. We just want to know if that's you.
Let me tell you something about that scene, okay? So, I wish Lori was here now. So the thing about that scene was, you know, there's certain, first of all, how lame is that Hyundai? Second of all, I mean, that was the thing that bothered me the most. Of all the cars you could pick, it's a zombie bike. You could pick any car you want, and he picked the lime green Hyundai, you know, hatchback. Anyway, but in that scene, you know, there's issues, I think, with there's issues when you do sex scenes. You know, I think what we all are trying to do, what I was trying to do on Walking Dead was to really push the envelope in every way and to try to make it edgier and grittier and scarier and as real as possible, to take the zombie genre and the horror genre and put it on television, but push it to the absolute maximum. And so for me, it's like, okay, well, when we had violence and when we could kill zombies, we were clearly doing that. But for me, it was like, all right, well, how are we going to do that with the sex scenes? Because that's what we do on this show. So for the sex scenes, you're in a lot of trouble because it's, you know, non-pay cable. So all you can show is a little bit of man ass, and like you can't really get nasty, you know. And you know, we're competing with shows like Boardwalk Empire where women are like, you know what I mean? And it's just like full-on pornography anywhere. And so it's like, how do you compete with that on? And so for us, it was like, so I actually really dug that, and it made us, you gotta be nasty, but you gotta think outside the box. There's things you can do being sneaky without showing it, and you can make it sexier and nastier, and I'm so sorry that we're tough, but you asked me this question. But I can't, that scene in the Hyundai actually never made it onto the air, because we did a scene, we choreographed something in that scene, and it went back to the AMC executives, and they said they had never seen anything like. There's no nudity, but we figured out a few things to do that would push the envelope like we do on The Walking Dead that people had never seen on television before. But all they did is they cut away and they just showed a Hyundai rocking on the road and a couple, you know, horn beeps, you know. But yeah, anyway, yeah, rock and roll.
All right, let's take a cold shower. Oh, here we go. Here we go. You're a little sneaky over there. All right, next question on this side.
Hi, John. My question was, did you have a particular scene that you really enjoyed filming? Yes, of Walking Dead.
I don't know, I a lot of them, you know, a lot of them. Like I said, it was very much for me, since I knew Shane was gonna die, it was very much for me plotting his course along the way. I think a big one was the first time I beat up Ed, you know, by the water. That was the first time Shane kind of realized that, you know, she just says, stay away from me, stay away from the kid. And Frank Darabont gave me a way to physicalize what I was feeling inside. I see this guy beating on his lady, I say, all right, I'm gonna go whoop his ass. But then he starts whooping on him, and then he's like, you know what, man, this feels pretty damn good. He keeps whooping on him, and then he's like, you know what, in this world, you can just keep whooping on people, and there's no police, there's no nothing, you can just keep doing it. And then from there, a few episodes later, I trained my gun on Rick in the woods, and I look at him and I'm like, you know what, in this world, you can actually shoot somebody and you can totally get away with it because there's no law. And so there's these scenes, and then there's the scene with Lori in the rec room. There's these key scenes where he really becomes a creature of the apocalypse. I think Shane was the first one to figure it all out, to figure out that doing the right thing and being a good guy is of no place in that world. And what was cool is that I got to play these scenes where you saw him figuring this thing out. So those were my favorite, and I think it kind of culminated, you know, obviously in the last scene, but in, you know, the barn scene, which was probably my favorite, you know, and just being like enough and taking care of business, you know, yeah. So I don't know, that's a long ass answer to a short ass question, but.
Okay, over here on the other side.
Hi, John. Hi, sweetheart.
What is your favorite episode in The Walking Dead and why?
My favorite episode in The Walking Dead and why was when the episode where I think it was episode 3 of season 3. I was long gone, but I think when Lori died. That was the... No, I don't mean it like that. Shut up. Sarah's my sister, dude. I love her. The reason why I said, I just thought that was, I thought, the way that she played that, and the way that Chandler and Carl and Rick, the way that her death affected them, I just thought was the most beautiful. To me, that was my favorite episode. That was that. It was really cool once I was off the show. I mean, once they killed my ass off the show twice, they pack your bags and go. It was great because all of a sudden I don't know what's gonna happen anymore. So I could just be one of y'all and be a fan, which is super cool. And Norman always be like, dude, you're not gonna believe what happened. I'd be like, Norman, shut up. I don't want to know what happens, dude. And it was really cool to, I did know that was gonna happen, but I didn't know when. It was really beautiful to see the way it was done with so much honesty, you know what I mean? So that was my favorite, sweetheart. Cool?
Good question. Okay, right side.
What's your favorite thing about Salt Lake City Comic-Con?
The people, cool ass people in Utah. Really cool
Nice work. Okay, over here on the left.
Who's up?
Who's that? Over here on the left?
Yes, hi John.
What's up?
I met you earlier. You are my favorite guy on Walking Dead.
Right on. I'm gone, dude.
Yeah, oh, I know. Still my favorite guy. Still, favorite guy on Wolf of Wall Street. And I'm just wondering, as your character Shane, do you get more people saying they love Shane or they hate Shane?
That's a good question, man. It's crazy because season 1, I remember we went to New York Comic-Con and the show hadn't even come out yet. And we had to introduce ourselves to the audience in a room kind of like this. It was New York, you know how people in New York are. And I remember, Sarah's like, hi, I'm Sarah Wayne Callies, I play Lori Grimes. Ah! Hi, I'm Chandler Riggs, I play Carl. Ah! Andy's like, hello, my name is Andy, and I was like, ah! And I'm like, hey y'all, how you doing? I'm John Bernthal, I play Shane. They're like, boo! I haven't even done anything yet. And in season 1, I don't even really do anything in that bad. But after season 1, I would meet fans and people would be like, I hate you, you're the biggest a-hole. Like all the time, in front of my family, you suck, and I'm like... But the crazy thing is, season 2, I shoot a dude in the leg, leave him for dead. I try to kill my best friend, strangle the hell out of a prisoner. I do so much awful shit, and people are like, I love Shane. I was with you all the way, bro. I got you. People are crazy, dude. But the cool thing, that's the joke answer. The real answer, man, is it was such an honor to play that guy. My family and my career. We owe so much to Frank Darabont and to let me. My entire life changed with that, and I'm just a knucklehead idiot kid, man. The way I grew up, I was an idiot. So for this to happen to me, to do what I love more than anything in the world, and to have a role like that, anytime you can get that kind of response where people are like, I don't know whether to love you or to hate you, that means it's a role that's very, very, very rich. And it's such a blessing that Shane came into my life. That sounds so lame, but it's true. That he came into my life. I got love for him, man.
Thanks.
Run with it.
All right, I think we have time for maybe 2 more questions, so we'll go to the right.
You mentioned Frank Darabont a couple of times. You had a chance to work with him both on Walking Dead and on Mob City, which I just loved. Frank Darabont is absolutely one of my heroes. I think he's just an amazing genius. Could you tell us a little bit about what it's like to work with him as a director, particularly on Mob City?
Frank's a badass, man. Frank, he's great. He's writing-wise, he's a national treasure, Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, The Mist, The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, Frank hasn't been a part of The Walking Dead in a long time, but you gotta remember that, Andy or Rick and Lori and I don't even know, Glenn and Daryl and Dale and Shane and all these people came from Frank. You know, this crew came from Frank, and like Frank, you know, found the flavor of this show, and he put this thing out there, and you know, he's a gem, man, and I care about him a lot, you know, and he's you know, I don't know, I can only, you know, I love the guy. I think that he wants things done his way, you know what I mean? He can be difficult, but you know, he's a true, you know, he's a true genius. I think he's one of the best writers, period. And you know, it's a blessing when you get him on set and you get to work with him. And he changed my life, and I owe him everything. You know.
Absolutely, he changed my life, and I've never worked with him. I just saw
there you go. Cool, man. Cool.
Thank you.
Rock and roll, bro.
All right, we started on the right. Let's wrap it up. Last question on the left here.
Hey, sell me this pen.
Nah. You know what's crazy about that, dude? You want to hear something crazy? So that thing, the sell me the pen thing, he's talking about something from Wolf of Wall Street. So that wasn't in the script. None of that was scripted. And when Leo was walking from his trailer to the set that day, there was a New York City detective that was in charge of keeping him safe, that was on a security detail. And he said to Leo, while they were walking, he said, you know, this movie, Wolf of Wall Street, is about this guy named Jordan Belfort. He said that back in the 80s, he had gone to a job interview for Jordan Belfort. And when he walked in the job interview, this cop said to him, Jordan Belfort handed him a pen and said, sell me this pen. And that was the entire job interview. So Leo sat down right before we started that scene and told us that story. And he's like, you know what? I think I should just do that in the scene. I think I should ask you guys to sell me this pen. And we were like, all right, cool, dude. Like, you're Leo, dude. Do whatever the hell you want, man. You know, you're the boss. And then he's like, well, no, to me, he's like, I think you should, you know how to do that. How would you do that? I was like, I don't know, man. Just roll the cameras and let's see what happens. And he did. And that whole thing just sort of came out on the first take, and it just kind of worked. It was a real example of kind of movie magic. I don't know. If you haven't seen the movie, that's the most uninteresting thing ever, but it's kind of cool. Right. If you guys want to rapid fire the rest of your questions, we can get it done.
That'd be great. Thank you.
I don't. Y'all have been standing there.
Right on. Well, I'm going to ask my daughter.
This is super
rapid. She doesn't get it. Where do you think you'd be today with Walking Dead had you got blown away?
Where would I be on the show?
Yeah, where do you think you know, would you be with
your character?
Them
Nah, man, I think I'd be out in the woods. You know,
be out in the woods?
Yeah. You'd be, yeah.
Right on.
Watching from a distance.
And then I have one other question. I want to make my wife jealous. Would you give me a hug?
When we're done, man. When we're done. Just no time.
We're no time. Sorry, we're gonna rapid fire. Okay, real quick, last side.
This is related to The Walking Dead, but where do you think the newest season's gonna start? Like, what do you think is gonna happen in the upcoming episodes?
Oh, sweetheart, I have no idea. But like Rick and Daryl are together. I mean, they'll be all right.
Okay, quick lady over to the right.
I just want to know what your personal info on your character, like what did you do personally to make your character more...
Character on Walking Dead?
Yeah.
I was super second season. I lived in a house in the woods by myself and didn't talk to anybody. I'm dead serious. He needed to be all by himself. He was a lonely guy. So that's what I did. Yeah, I'm a crazy freak.
Alright, this is a Walking Dead question.
Okay, surprise.
Is it Shane's baby?
Hells yeah.
Is that a question? I don't think so.
Alright, my question is, so you get roles, and so once you're done with a role and then you get a new one, do you ever think, like, take characteristics from a character you've played to your new role?
I try not to, sweetheart. I try not to, but sometimes I walked on the set of Snitch. Literally, I got killed off The Walking Dead, and then got in my truck, grabbed my dogs, drove to Louisiana, and started shooting Snitch the next day. So it was really tough. Like if you watch that movie, sometimes a little bit of shame pops out, and it's no good. It's a bad thing. You should give yourself some time because you should try to not take your characters home with you, but you need a little bit. That's why I drive everywhere. So I like being on the road with my truck and my dogs, and then I can kind of get rid of them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not my dogs, but my characters.
Okay, I think we can make it one last question. Let's go.
All right, now that you got your foot in the doorway in TV and Hollywood, what do you think's the next big step for you?
I'm just gonna kick that shit the hell open. Just keep doing what you know, man. I'm blessed to work, and you know, this next one that I have coming out, Fury, I think is gonna be a real special one. But in all honesty, man, I'm like the luckiest guy in the world. I love what I do with all my heart, and I got a great family, and I don't forget to thank who I need to thank every single day. You know what I mean? And,